I'm definitely done with the city of Seattle. I don't necessarily think it can be saved. I don't know if it should be saved.
Born and raised in Seattle, it's already a pretty liberal city. Tell me a little bit about how the city has changed since Trump became president.
I would say that pre-Trump presidency, it definitely was far left, but in the sense that, everything's accepted, everything goes, and kind of tolerating a high degree of homelessness, drug use, things like that, but not necessarily cracking down on law-abiding people who have different opinions. And I think that is definitely what's changed.
Have you experienced any of these changes for yourself? Like any instances where you've seen a shift in this extremism?
Yeah, definitely. So, since I've lived here for a while, and I'm gay, I've been going to called the Gayborhood, and that's Capitol Hill, and that's currently where the Chaz is, um, partially. So, yeah, I've actually been blacklisted permanently from a bar for no good reason was given to me. I simply was talking to a group of people, some of which I knew, some of which I didn't, and I said something fairly benign about homelessness in the city, which everyone knows that's a huge problem in the city. I just compared Seattle to somewhere else and said Seattle has a lot of homelessness and a lot of it's caused by drug use. And while I said that, people didn't really get up in arms when they were talking to me. We continued talking, but someone in that group went away from the group to the bartenders and told them, I don't know what, could have been that, like, oh, this guy's a crazy extremist and he needs to be out. And then next thing I knew, the bartenders came over to me, told me that I had to leave. I asked why, they wouldn't say. And I went back up to the guy and I asked what he had said to the bartenders, the guy who had left the group. And he just refused to say anything. So I did leave. A month later, I was like, surely they're going to be fine with me coming back. Like, surely this is water under the bridge now. So I went in, showed my ID to the bartender. That was the only one behind the bar at the minute. And me and some friends went in. We were in there for like 20 minutes. And another bartender, one of the ones who had kicked me out, comes up and says, hey, you can't be here. Like, we kicked you out a month ago or something. And I was like, that was for life? And he was like, yes, you're gone forever. You can never come back here. We're calling the police. And so I asked, like, what is it for? I was totally calm. I was like, why was I kicked out? And he just wouldn't say. He was like, I don't have to tell you anything. So eventually I was like, I'm not leaving. You can call the police if you want to. And ordinarily, like in a situation like this, me being pretty much a libertarian on, issues like people in your businesses, I respect the right of a business owner to kick someone out for a variety of reasons, but weirdly in Seattle, there's like a statute that I think was put in the 70s, ironically to protect communists, I think, that political opinions can't be discriminated against in certain businesses. I think actually all businesses. So to me, it felt hypocritical and wrong. And so I was like, you can call the police and like, I'm pretty sure you can't do this for purely political reasons. So the police came. When they came, I exited peacefully, talked to them, gave them my side of the story. A police officer took the bartender's side of the story down, and then that police officer came out and said, yeah, they told us you snuck in, and they have a log of everything that you did. And I was like, wait, what did they say? And the police officer wouldn't tell me. After that happened, I found out that from a bartender at a different gay bar that the staff at that one that kicked me out sent a picture of me to various gay bars in the area and was like, you probably shouldn't let this guy into your bars. Just like be on the lookout for him. And this bartender from another bar I'd frequently gone to told me about this, and he was like, yeah, I got this weird text message, and I responded to it saying he's been coming to our bar for 5 years and never had a problem. So it really didn't make sense. And so it kind of hints at this behind the scenes sort of cancel culture that, I mean, we see everywhere. Everything is being boycotted. Standards don't apply to certain people. certain political groups, and it's yeah just unfair.
So do you think that this cancel culture has gotten worse, particularly in Seattle, since Trump became president, or has this been sort of bubbling over for years?
I think it accelerated for sure. I mean, I think Trump is kind of like the, I don't know, like the truth serum for people. I think he's definitely brought out like the impulse of the hard left to cancel things that challenge their worldview. I think, especially here in Seattle, it is a minority of people who want to directly cancel people, silence viewpoints, and things like that. But I think the majority of people are at least tacitly approving of that. So I think the majority of Seattle people at least support it in some way.
So you mentioned Chaz, which is pretty extraordinary situation going on here in Seattle. You haven't actually been into Chaz since it's been taken over by choice, but you're familiar with the area. What do you think about all of this? What are your friends saying?
Um, so I have a few friends who are within the area. They rightfully for having opinions that are not in line with at least the you know the middle of the pack in Chaz, which would be extremely far left. I mean, you can kind of see that the narrative there, at least the I don't know, the general trend is just like pure communism, like anarcho-communism. Like people who don't even have an ounce of that in them probably would not feel safe there, especially at night.
Given all that you've seen in Seattle over the past few years, you're born and raised here, but there's this shift that you say to this extremism. Are you going to stay here? Do you plan to move? Has it affected how you view the city?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm definitely done with the city of Seattle. I don't necessarily think it can be saved. I don't know if it should be saved. It might be that this should be an example for whatever this political movement is. It needs to run out of its own volition, if that is possible. But yeah, I would say I can't stay. It's no longer tenable.
So the media obviously is playing a big role in how Chaz is being portrayed to the rest of the country and how Seattle as a whole, Trump as well. How do you think that the media is portraying this city and what's going on? Are they doing a good job, or are they doing a poor job, or what do you think?
I would say the mainstream is definitely downplaying any negative aspects about Chaz, and whatever positive aspects about it, those are purely being focused on. So yeah, people coming together, people protesting for against police brutality, yeah, that's an awesome thing. But what this is not a protest about police brutality anymore purely. It's like a communist kind of experiment that's coupled with homelessness and drug addiction, some of these underlying issues that the city has been dealing with, and it's just not being focused on in that like multidimensional way.